Alright, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be telling you how to get a back like this. I have a back like this at 15, so I'm just going to give you a blueprint. So there are a few key principles we need to keep in mind. First of all, we have to hit all the muscles in the back in order to develop that, all the muscles have to be developed. And it has to have long-term progression. Basically meaning we don't want to plateau or stagnate with our progress in the last month. And third, it has to actually stimulate growth, meaning that the exercises that we pick actually have to build muscle. Otherwise, what are we even doing them for? And thirdly, we have to work to proportion our backs. So we have to specifically make some muscles bigger than others. Okay, now we're going to move on to the specific exercises we're going to be doing. The goal with these is that they have to work the muscles in the best leverage that they have, and that they're going to lower the CNS fatigue. So we're going to be able to make maximum gains with the least amount of fatigue. To start, we're going to start with the lat muscles. Now, the lat muscles are going to give you that nice sweeping arc in your back that everybody wants. Alright, so in order to target them, we need to work them in the sagittal plane, which is basically pulling from in front of you, and the frontal plane, which is basically pulling from above you to get the elbows to adduct. So we're going to do this with a type of row, pulling from in front of you. Now your goal is to pull your elbows tucked in completely, but you're not going to retract your scapula at the bottom of the movement. You're not trying to get a stretch. You're just trying to pull and get it to where your elbows are in line with the rest of your waist. We're doing this to work the upper lats. In order to work the lower lats, we're going to pull from above us. Now this can be done with a wide arm lat pull down or a wide grip pull up. You can progressively overload pull-ups by doing weighted pull-ups, or you can just do more reps. Next up, we have the traps or trapezius muscle. These are going to give you that thickness in your back and all those lines whenever you're posing and doing your frontal bicep. Alright, so in order to train these, you need to do scapular retraction. So what we didn't want to do when that lat training is basically what we want to do here. That's the protraction and retraction of the scapula. Okay, so basically just pulling your shoulder blades back. In order to do this, we can isolate this with a Kelso shrug. All you're going to do is go over to a row machine, make sure it is chest supported, grab the bar or dumbbells or whatever you're using, the handles, and you're just going to shrug backwards. You're not going to shrug up, you're just shrugging straight backwards. You don't have to get a crazy squeeze or anything. You don't have to get a crazy stretch at the bottom. Just make sure you're standardizing your reps and making sure every single one is the same. Also make sure that the entire time your elbows have to be flared out at least 45 degrees. So we're not going to be doing it how we were with the lat training with the rows there. You don't have to do Kelso shrugs. You can also do rows, but rows are going to work your rear delts too. So it's better to isolate them with Kelso shrugs. We're moving on to rep range and volume. So remember, whenever we're trying to train a muscle to the maximum amount of hypertrophy, we want to train it with high frequency and relatively low volume or mid volume. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be targeting the back every other day. So which means that if you train Monday, you're going to train Wednesday and so on and so forth. So you want to give it a day of rest in between. We're also going to do 2 to 3 sets of just about every exercise. I know this might seem weird, but it is how you're going to maximize muscle growth, because studies have shown the higher frequency over all the volume in one day has built more muscle. For the rep range, we're going to train every single exercise in the 4 to 6 rep range. Now, whenever you're doing this, you're going to want to make sure that you're not going past failure, but you're just about hitting failure. So the second you feel like you can't get that next rep, just maybe go for it if you think you might be able to get it, and then stop. Make sure to rest for at least 2 minutes in between each set to maximize recovery, so you can recruit the most motor units in order to build the highest amount of muscle. For progressive overload, you're going to choose a weight that you can do for 4 reps for all your exercises, or just about that amount. And then once you get those 4 reps, the next session, you're going to try to get 5 reps or maybe even 6 reps. Once you can do that same weight for 6 reps, you go up in weight until it's something you can only do for 4 reps, and you just repeat that over and over again.